Everybody, it's your girl Eve. My mic is cutting out today, so I'm sorry if it's a little choppy. But I'll do my best. Mr. Eve, Chatty Cathy today. Thank you for being here. Hell Cat. Good morning, Crystal. Good morning, Sissy. Go ahead. Yes, hit that. You don't even have to harsh reality this morning. Uh, the like button is not all the time and adore me. It was pretty funny. So I got a kick out of that. So, hi, everybody. About Simon's case, and let's talk about Leilani and Billy Joe. We got a lot to discuss. What a doozy, right? Hey, Tales from the Fort. So, Leilani, you know, me and my sleuth friends were talking about what our theories were, what we thought was what happened to Quentin. And one of my, she met up with somebody I felt it was a family member or a drug dealer or something like that, who kind of helped her. And that's exactly what happened. And we'll talk about that in count, I believe, count 2 felony and count 3 felony. Pull that up for you guys. Let's just get into it. So, Georgia has 2 types of felonies: malice murder, which is you have to have intent, and then um, non intent. So, basically, like manslaughter is the other one. She got 3 counts. She's got the first count of malice murder, second count, or 2 and 3 is count felony murder. And I kind of figured that she did it on purpose. That's just my opinion. These are alleged, these charges. The grand jury did indict her on a total of 19. Um, it just blows my mind. I didn't think it was going to be that much, but because she made so many false statements, lying bitch, that's what happens. So she also got Lord Leilani. How did these people, like when Casey Anthony said, I sleep pretty good at night back in 2016, after her daughter, after she was acquitted for murdering her daughter? What are y'all doing? It's ridiculous. How's everybody doing today? Good morning, Sherry. Glad you're here. Crystal said Eve's reading was 100% right, except for the whole. I think it would be. I would say 90% this time, because I felt like she met up with someone over by this red gate uh, lane or drive, by this red barn area. But hey, you know what? Close enough, right? All right. Pulling it up for you guys. We're going to go through the entirety of this. But the false statements is what like blew my mind too. Because it kind of gives you into the mind of Leilani. Why is she lying so much? Why does she lie about these little things? Well, because she honestly got high and probably beat Quentin Simon to death. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you. That's how I feel this happened. And I think we've all kind of felt that way, right? I think we all knew, especially when Billy Joe was like calling that one creator during her live and said he's in a landfill. Oh my God, it is what it is. Pulling it up, sorry. All right. Count 1, malice murder. This is where the intent comes in, right? Basically, I'm going to summarize this, but on the 5th day of October, malice aforethought caused the death of her son, Quentin Simon, being in a manner unknown to the grand jury at this time. They still don't know exactly what happened. They don't have all of the nitty gritty, but over time, that's why you have 3 counts of felony murder because they're going to pick up on more evidence as it comes back from the lab or whatever it may be. Right? So, but they believe it. They believe that she murdered her son. Very simple. Do they know if it was, you know, with the intent? We don't know the entirety of the evidence that was presented to them. However, just in case, we're going to get to 2 counts of felony murder. So count 2 gives a little bit more into what they assume happened without the nitty gritty details, right? They said that Leilani, the accused, Leilani, did make an assault upon the person of her son, Quentin Simon, with an object that, when used offensively against the person, did bodily injury that caused his death. Okay. Now, I want to know if that blunt object was her own fist. Did she beat her to death with her fist? I mean, she's not a big girl. She doesn't look like she could throw somebody around like, let's just say, Miss E. I could probably drag her no problem. And I would like to. I'm not going to, but I would like to. So she doesn't seem like the type that would really, but this is also a 20-month-old baby. So it has to make you, it makes you wonder what was used. And I hope it wasn't, I hope he didn't suffer. Fortunately, on the count 3, that's exactly what it says. Let me catch up to the chat. Sky, for me, I don't put any blame on the drugs, right? Because the drugs is coming up here shortly on the making a false statement. I put blame on Leilani and Billy Joe, Danny, and Paul, who was there. I know Billy wasn't there, but she is to blame as well, in my opinion. I absolutely agree. I give her no breaks. I don't give anybody in that household a break. Linda says it could be anything. I know. It's awful. And we'll find out eventually. Maybe. I'm short and pretty strong. You'd be surprised. Oh, okay, Sky we'll have to go throw hands somewhere to see. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, you know what? Casey Anthony's small. She's a small girl. And I'm going to have to tell you all about the reading I did. Before actually was there when it happened. And phew, that's the first time I ever did a reading on Haley Anthony. First time. It's awful. Awful. We'll get to that another day. So again, count 2. She did make an assault on Quentin. An unknown object causes death. All right. Now we're going to go to count 3. And just in case that's not exactly what happened, the first 2 maybe count 2 and 3 will go together, right? So it says count 3. Leilani did maliciously cause Quentin Simon cruel and excessive physical pain in a manner unknown to the grand jury at this time. In the commission of that offense, caused Quentin's death. 2 and 3 are going to go together. I'm almost positive if that's the case, if that's what the charges are going to stick. Crystal says, just an FYI, there's a whole ass red trailer there. Is there really? So my reading on Quentin, that's exactly what I saw was a red trailer. Or like a red house, barn, trailer looking thing. I can't believe that. Poor baby. He had no chance. Leilani is the devil. You are lying. Evil. All right. Now, this made me think the count 4 concealing the death of Sarah Wandra in the Michael Vaughn case, because that's what she's charged with. She, excuse me, she's charged with failure to report a death to law enforcement. She doesn't have any murder charges as of right now. So Lonnie does. So you really just have to have the evidence, to suggest that you did these things. I wonder what evidence they have. They probably have camera footage of her going places, maybe phone call recordings, maybe even a creator on YouTube, something about voices in a wall, right? That may have tipped in some information. Maybe it was when Billy Joe said that Quentin was in the landfill. I don't know. There's so many possibilities. And it could be multiple. But on the fourth count is concealing the death of another. On the on or about the fifth day of October 2022, Leilani unlawfully concealed the death of her son Quentin by discarding him in a dumpster at Azalea Mobile Home Plaza, which hindered the discovery of whether Quentin was unlawfully killed, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia. Now, if you haven't seen god awful picture, excuse me, of the um, dumpster, right? Well, unfortunately, I have that picture, and it's very, very sad. Just a second to pull it up. It just goes to show you how immoral and cruel she is, hands down. And I wanted to pull this up too, because this was brought to my attention, and I don't know who got it. I think that's after Quentin missing. Leilani, Danny Youngkin. I don't know who that is. Father of Quentin Simon. So I wonder if that was taken because it's been bothering me for a hot minute. I have no idea. Maybe somebody can clear it up in chat. Yeah, it is heartbreaking, Mr. E. So that's the dumpster that she threw her 20-month-old baby in. Oh, am I breaking up really bad? Sorry. Sorry, guys. Hold on a second. Let me mute and fix this. Is this a little better? Let me know if it is. Sorry, guys. I'm having audio issues today. But that is the dumpster. Hey, little wing. Bree. I don't know. I don't know how she could be a baby. Much better? Good. All right. So, yep, that's the dumpster that she discarded her 20-month-old baby in. Again, I want to know when this was taken. Nobody should be smiling. Nobody should be having a good fucking time during this. So, okay, good. All right. Count 5 of 19. Yes, that's right. False report of a crime. So, it says on or about the 5th day of October 2022, Leilani knowingly gave a false report of a crime to Chatham County Police Department that he had been abducted. Now, if anybody is well aware of my channel, you all know that I am a big, I like to shove this case study down people's throats. It's called the false reported abductions, where the parents murder their children or someone very close to the family, like stepmother, boyfriend, girlfriend, but mostly it is the father or the mother or both. And this fit perfectly in, unfortunately, the situation, Leilani, Billy Joe, all of it, into that case study, like perfect. And this is what I was trying to warn everybody about, that these things are going to keep happening, especially since COVID, right? Because, it changed people's lives. People lost everything. Some people lost their jobs. had to move in with other family members. They have multiple kids, drug issues, et cetera, et cetera. And these are the kind of things that happen. And if we're not going to see the signs and we're not going to know what it is, we can't prevent these things, right? So that's why I'm literally here, is to see what is going on with parents murdering their children, because I think it happens more than we think. It's obviously showing its ugly tail right now. And that's just it. I mean, that's the facts. That's what's going on. Mr. Eve, I can't understand how there is so much evil within a person to hurt a child. Children are the only true innocent people in this world. I agree. Eve, Mindshot Channel did a good video on the case about a month ago where Bubba Moss has some interesting things to say about how they behaved. I remember that. Something about when they were together, Leilani and Bubba, Quentin's dad, she was just constantly doing some shady stuff, stealing, breaking and entering, trying to blame it on him, cheating on him, you name it. She did drugs while she was pregnant with Quentin, for sure. Oh, yeah, the DA, I loved her. She was like, look, we got plenty of evidence, so you just hang on to your booty cheeks because we're going to take her down. But fairly, right? So they're not going to discuss the nitty gritty of the case, and I get it. So we're going to speculate on it. That's what we're going to do. All right. So she gave a false report saying that somebody had abducted Quentin because he was last seen in the playpen, in which Danny Youngkin says the same thing. He was in the playpen at 6 a.m. in the morning? Something like that, 5 or 6. Now, here's my problem with that. If she did this in the early hours of the morning, which I assume, because you're going to see some information come on the other indictments here in a second, keep in mind that Danny Youngkin and Leilani were talking to the babysitter when she came over there around 9 something in the morning, that morning. But I do have audio of dispatch earlier than when they reported Quentin as missing, when the babysitter made them call. There was a recording. It's very short, and it said Buckhalter Road. One of them is screaming at the other to give her my child. Now, I don't know. They didn't say the names. They didn't say who or what, but they did. But she did say at Buckhalter Road that she is demanding that somebody give her her child. So there was a separate call right before that. I wonder if that was a setup to try to, confirm her claims. And I do have that on my channel. If you go look at Quentin Simon 911 call recordings, I have that on there. So I wonder if she was trying to play before that 911 call. I don't know who called. It just makes me wonder. So there's that. And it just keeps getting worse. All right. Count 6, making a false statement. Listen to this. Leilani stated that she admitted that she had left her home in the late night hours of October 4th. Okay, the night before, October 5th was when he went missing, right? So she went on October 4th in the late night hours to meet her drug dealer, falsely stating that the purpose of this meeting was to pay an existing drug debt, contrary to the laws of the state of Georgia. She went to go get Oragel, I think is what it says next. Okay. So her story changes from, okay, I had to go pay this drug debt that I had. But what she really was doing was going to get drugs. Maybe even something different. We don't know. Maybe that was a lie too. Let's look into the next one. Because, drugs are more important than your child, right? Oh, I missed one. Hold on. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, count 7. Says that she falsely stated that the only controlled substance of which she was a regular user of was marijuana. We all know that's a damn lie. Girl, that's probably one of the most lighter drugs that you're using, especially that night. I'd bet my money on coke and meth or something. Yeah, Chris, I did. Yeah. But they're like, no, girl, you didn't just smoke Mary Jane. Because I bet you they did a drug test, right? Like they would have had to have. And I hope they do. And I wish that they would do that with every person or people around a missing child's case that was there when they went missing. Do a drug test. Please. It'll help you out in the long run, DA. Sure will. All right, count 8. I'm sorry if my green screen is making my shirt like weird. It is what it is. So, count 8. She falsely stated that the only controlled substance she had used in the past 24 hours was marijuana. So she lied about that night, and then she lied about the last 24 hours. Okay, girl, bye. Some of these are repeat false statements to different law enforcement agencies, and I'll just let you know what those are. Count 9 is the Origel story. Leilani states that in the early morning hours of October 5th, she had left her home, but falsely stated that the purpose of this trip was to meet her friend Misty. We all know Misty, right? Misty's the one I believe that was in the truck that picked her up that day, who lives at that mobile home. I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I read. So I'll have to double check that. Susanna says she popped hot for fentanyl, cocaine, and Percocet. Ooh. That is beyond high. That is so beyond high. How is she alive? Oh, Fent, Coke, and Oxy. Good God. Jeez. I don't do those. Never have, never will. But Jesus. I'd be out of here. Bye-bye. All right. So she said that she went to Misty's to obtain Origel, a topical pain reliever. And that on this trip, she had, in fact, met Misty at a Chevron service station and had obtained Origel from her. Mm-hmm. What did you get? Drugs. Or maybe she did something else. Maybe that's actually when she disposed of Whitten and never met her. I don't know. But it did say that the drug dealer she had met. So maybe they coincide together. I don't know. It would make sense. Right. Some Origel, girl. You can get the Origel at the gas station that you went to, probably. She's bad at this. She's really bad at this. Probably because of all the Coke, Fenton, Percocet she's doing, right? Or Oxys. So count 10. Leilani lied to or willfully concealed to 2 of the investigators at Chatham County Police Department and the FBI that in the early morning hours of October 5th, she had in fact traveled to that mobile home plaza and discarded her son Quentin in a dumpster. So there's that count. And there's multiple counts like that where she's lying to different agencies and different law enforcement authorities. But she did it. Obviously, if a grand jury indicted her on those charges and then the false statements, there's evidence there, more than likely, right? So, count 11. She admitted that she left her home to meet her drug dealer in the late night hours of October 4th, falsely stating that it was to pay that existing drug debt. So she did. She absolutely did. Went to go see her drug dealer on the night of October 4th, probably came home in this weird rage. Maybe something didn't go right. She went into a rage. All of those drugs, good God, yeah. It surprises me that she wouldn't, right? Sincerely, because that's a lot of different drugs reacting to each other. Crazy. Count 12. She lied again, right? That she had used controlled substances. She actually did on the night of October 4th, but she lied and said that she did. That's one of the charges. So these are kind of the repeats that I'm talking about. She did. And these count 14, 15. It's the same thing. She lied about the Oragel. She, in fact, did discard her son Quentin in the dumpster. That's count 16, 17. So we don't have to go into those. It's the same thing. Now, I want to talk about Daniel Youngkin. I want y'all to see, if you haven't already, what she said about him and what she tried to do to him. Actually, let's go into 19. Let's go backwards. Count 19. This one is a hoot. So, she said that she admitted that she, not Daniel Youngkin, had left the home in the early morning hours of October 5th and had traveled to that mobile home plaza, and that she had no contact there with her friend Misty, right? To go get that Oragel or pay an existing drug debt, right? Falsely stating that she did not remember what she had done there. Okay. So she was ratting and saying that Daniel Youngkin was the one that left in the wee hours, not her, at that mobile home park. She was trying to blame it and pin it on Daniel. Now, I don't know if he had anything to do with it. I don't know. I don't. But what I do know is that he was there the morning that he talked to the babysitter because he couldn't find Quentin, and neither could Leilani, and they were both acting strange. I want to know what y'all think in the chat. If he, in fact, may have something to do with this, and if he did, was he an informant to rat on Leilani? Hey, my Shedline's glad you're here. Jeep Girl says she didn't need Oragel. She was doing so many drugs, she felt no pain. Well, I'm sure she was trying to make it seem like she was getting Oragel for one of the babies. Right? Yep, she was charged for every time she told a lie. That's right. So that's pretty much it. The count before that, 18, is that she tried to rat on Daniel and say he was the one that traveled away from the home in the early morning hours. And then she was like, no, well, I did. Actually, I did, but I don't remember why. I don't know why. I was high off my ass. I don't know what I did. So remember that, what was it? The interview with Leilani and Billy Joe side by side. And she was like, if I find out, if I had anything to do with this, I will walk myself right into that jail. Well, you're lying because Billy Joe had to do it. And you knew damn well what you did. That's what malice murder is, which you are indicted on. You thought about it. You intentionally killed that child and then caused allegedly excessive and brutal pain to that baby and beat him with an object. Wow. So I think, as much as I do not like the fact that maybe Danny Youngkin had something to do with covering it up, and he might be an informant now, maybe that was the only way that they were going to find the evidence. But I don't like that. I don't like that there's people that would be able to walk around children. So I just hope that maybe that will come to light so that people can know exactly if Danny Youngkin is in fact complicit or not, even if he doesn't get charged, because it's important. I think Billy Joe should be charged. I think everybody in that damn house who's an adult who is there should be charged. Make an example out of them, because this is going to keep happening. if we give people passes. Hellcat says, I have a hard time believing that Billy Joe was allowed to take her out to eat and then bring her in. Preach. Jeep Girl says, I'd like to know what involvement her brother had in this, if any. I feel deep down in my soul that he did. I don't have any evidence to suggest that. But maybe they will find something that later on because of his behavior. His behavior. Everybody that went on social media and was like, you don't know what happened. Well, do you? Do you know exactly what happened? Then why are you speaking on it? Because there's a dead 20-month-old boy that's your family member. All of them was weird. All of them. And that's drugs, y'all. That's drugs. Messes up your brain. Crystal says, the only thing I can think is that they had drug issues as well and were nodding out and didn't understand what they were hearing. Potentially. Those Percocets, fentanyl, my God, and then cocaine. They were doing all of those. If they had all of that in their system, because I know that it's kind of interchangeable with some of the drugs they're taking, right? They mix them. Or it comes mixed. I don't know how they would act. I think that they would be well enough aware, though, to do the right thing. Because I have not known personally, but have heard stories of people literally falling asleep on themselves with heroin and called the cops because they saw something nefarious. You know what I mean? Not always, but sometimes. So I don't know. I think that they were well aware. And I think that they have known for quite a while. And I hope that they get charged for not saying anything. Period. And this is where social media actually does come into play, where it's a good thing sometimes when speaking on cases. But the way that it was handled was not right. Absolutely not. People die on that fentanyl every day. It's an awful drug. I could see them being on that and not knowing what's going on. Mm-hmm. Yep, there is an actual fentanyl epidemic. And it's actually really bad in Washington, Oregon, Idaho. It went up 150% in teenagers. That's insane to me. It's going to keep getting worse. The only one who'd rather keep quiet was Billy Joe's husband and boyfriend. All of them need to go. But I know that there are other kids in the house. I understand that. But you know what? That doesn't mean that they need to be with them. That doesn't necessarily always mean that. And I hope that they take care of those babies the right way. The state of Georgia needs to do that. Yeah. Quinn did not need to die, I know. Knowing she sat out front with her brother and mom when Bullhorn Buddy was there, stone cold face. Oh, I know. Well, that's why I kind of stepped away, because as soon as I saw, Bullhorn Betty and what is the other guy? I already forgot his name. Dolly Vision. Dolly Vision. When they went to Idaho, that pissed me off because it was so whatever. And then they go to Georgia, fuck that all up, get a charge on them. I mean, what do? You just step back and hope for the best and report on what you can. We got to stop getting close to these damn parents. That is not the way that this true crime should be ran on YouTube. It should not be the way. That is literally the best way to hinder an investigation. You can report on them all you want to, how you see fit. Just don't get close to them. Or you're going to end up catching a charge, y'all, out there. Watch. The next time this happens, you're gonna meet the wrong police department chief or whatever, the sheriff. You're going to meet the wrong one. He gonna put charges on y'all. One of y'all. Maybe Voices or whoever. Interfering with an investigation. Blah. There you go. And sometimes there are very serious charges. But it's not going to be me. I know that. You know what? You have got to give it. You have got to give it to Georgia. In the South, in general. For instance, the Athena Strand case. In the South, we do not play when you hurt our babies. We will come for you. We will go through trash. We will sift through any and everything we can to find those babies. Absolutely. And we won't give up either. We won't. Um, but in a lot of other states, like up north, it's kind of weird. They would rather protect your rights, and kind of laissez-faire tiptoe around that and not start problems. This is true. Not in all cases, but sometimes it's true. We don't give a shit. You didn't see nothing, they'll say nothing to get justice for these babies. I'm just kidding. But things are done right in Texas. Yeehaw. All right, guys, that's all I wanted to go over. I did find a few clips from Cher's live that I wanted to put out there because some of the dates that I believe she kind of spilled the beans, little by little when she was lying. I wanted to kind of compare that, but you know what? I am not going to give another creator the platform or the time of day when I truly, strongly believe, that it was mishandled by them. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not. And I was actually convinced not to after, talking about what I was going to say today. So I'm kind of glad they did. So thank you. You know who you are. Appreciate that. You have to love Texas, Crystal. We are here. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Justice for Quentin. I am going to try to be at the trial if they actually go to trial. She might just say I'm guilty, take me to jail. But if it goes to trial, which I assume it will, your girl's going to be there. I've already submitted the paperwork to get that approved. So I'll be recording it. Mr. Eve, I love that y'all are there. I'm from there, so my family and I don't. But you can get along with us. You can come see me, Crystal. Absolutely, Linda. Again, thank you so much for being here. Justice for Quentin. And, as I say, drink your water, hug yourself, your babies, your fur babies, your grandbabies. Let's get justice for Quentin Simon and all of these missing babies. We need to really talk about Oakley Carlson immediately. And we need to talk about Lena Kill because what's going on with those cases? I feel like they're going cold in a sense of not even being discussed or brought up. And we have got to stop that because those two matter. Cody Bigsby matters too. And we need to start talking about them more. And I hope that you're here for it. All right. Have a great week ahead. Bye, guys.